What's going on, folks? It's your boy TV here from SMB. What went down today? Holy chop. Chop, 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 chop. My God. Look at this. Just look at this. Tell me exactly, unless you're like a scalper taking trades and getting out of them in 30 seconds, who I'm not. I'm not that guy, pal. Trust me. What on earth was this? It's got to be the most green to red to green to red to green to red I've ever seen in a single day. And mind you, it never went more than a percent. It never went more than even like 3/4% in each direction. Like, holy shit, today was a chop fest. This is what SPY did. Sell off, huge buying, huge selling, buying, selling, a little bit of buying, more selling, buying, big selling, and a little bit of buying in the close. Just a nightmare. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm shocked I came out green today. So that's a huge win for me, even though I could have done a lot better, should have done a lot better, but I mean, I easily could have lost money today. Just a nightmare. Absolute nightmare for any trend trader like myself. This was just craziness. I mean, this is what Apple did. Apple kept the entire market afloat, I swear. It refused to sell off. It bounced off of 138.75 like 4 times. And SPX. So now we know support is at 3,800 on SPX. It bounced off of that thrice today. So we have a clear support over there. The funny thing about that is, guess where resistance was? Right at 3,800. So now we got resistance turned into support. Could be bullish. My only fear is that tomorrow we have the PCE numbers, the personal consumer expenditure numbers. Last month they were pretty good, but we know that inflation has gotten worse since then. So I am gonna go out on a limb and guess that they're gonna be bad because everything's gotten more expensive if you've bought anything in the past month. So I think that we are just most likely forming a bear flag, just a nifty little channel right here on SPX that we're eventually going to break out of to the downside, I would imagine. But we are just consolidating. I kind of felt like the market wasn't going to pick a direction, even though we got really bad GDP numbers that came out today. We got the final numbers on the Q1 GDP, and it missed expectations, but for whatever reason, that's not enough to dump the market. So, I mean, I came in and saw that, and I was very bearish on the day. I was just like, oh, bad news, probably gonna dump. It said no, we'll dump and then go back up, and then this is the Nasdaq. I mean, it was even worse. It's just like, what is this? Look at the size of some of the wicks on these candles. Just so much crazy indecision, and we have an even cleaner bear candle on the Nasdaq. I mean, or bear flag on the Nasdaq. So I'll get right into the trades. First things first, I sold my Amazon put. So Amazon and Apple just held the entire market together today, of course. I remember I said yesterday, I was like, watch, Amazon's going to be green. I have puts, it's going to be green. Somehow, some way. Also creating a bear flag. But Amazon just went straight up at open, like literally straight up. Look at the buying volume, just straight up for whatever reason. No gaps or anything, just open straight up. So I took gains. I took $100 gains on one of my puts, and then I saw that we finally reached a resistance up here. I should have kept in mind this demand zone that we had up here, or supply, I should say. And we bounced right off of that. And so I grabbed another put, and I grabbed it at a worse price. So I did the typical, I sold it cheap, and then I bought it more expensive. But I still think the steps there because I stepped back and I said, do I still think it's going to go down? Yes, I do. So why would I not have it? I secured some gains on it. So now I am going to risk the money that I made on it. If we gap up tomorrow, I'm just going to cut my losses, break even. So be it. I still like the play to the downside. I still think we're going to get downside. I'm not going to FOMO back in and think we're going to go up from here, but it's possible. So, first thing, that was my first trade. It's like $100 gain on Amazon. Next thing, so I'm still holding the Nasdaq call, or put, I should say. That's far out, 2 months out. I'm still holding that. It's up like $10. I mean, jeez, today just did nothing. This is just one of those days I could just not even turn my computer on, and I would have been better off. But I ended up grabbing a Nasdaq call because I was like, I'm in shorts. I should just hedge myself against that. In case say just the greenest day imaginable, which it was looking like it was. I mean, Apple, same thing, just went straight up. I mean, look at this, just huge buying all morning from Apple. It just kept going up, kept going up. So much strength on Apple today. Um, so I just told myself, hey, if we do go straight up, I'll grab a little call and hedge myself. And shit, I mean, you can imagine where I sold it. I sold it like right there. It goes straight back up, then straight back. So I mean, I was glad I sold it because it was clear the market just wasn't going to pick a direction today. So we sold that for a $21 loss, 657 to 716. So classic me. I grabbed it like right up here. I mean, I grabbed it on this candle, so it was up like 20 bucks at one point. But I was thinking, I want this to be a hedge, not just like a scalp. I should have taken it, obviously, because then what's it do? It comes straight back down. So I sold in this red candle, and then it goes straight back up. But I'm just like, why did it even bounce here? There's no reason for the bounce here. It was looking like we were just gonna sell off after that. I thought this is all the bulls had. Now we sell off. No, that didn't happen. It goes straight back up, and then it goes down. And so it was just like a nightmare. I almost FOMO'd back in. I'm so glad I didn't because I know I would have grabbed another call on this green candle. It would have immediately sold off. I just would have done the whole thing over again. So I was happy that I just respected my stop loss, took a $21 loss, and then I just knew market wasn't going to pick a direction. So we're down 21 on that. Next play, Apple. We have a Apple put, and this one was just like easy mode because I mean Apple just went stupid straight up. I waited to make sure that I wasn't going to get faked out. I almost grabbed one off of this, but I didn't think that was strong enough candles to come down. I saw the volume was kind of weak, so we keep going up, keep going up. We break the sub level, and now I see, all right, this thing's like overbought. We're overbought on the RSI. Draw my line, grab a put. I ended up grabbing, I wanted to wait and see if it would break through this line, so I grab one right here. We consolidate, we chop around. I'm like, my stop loss is up here. I'm respecting the stop loss. We come up, chop around, and we finally dump. And I end up getting a 22, I think. $27 gain on that. I mean, it was up like 50 bucks at one point. I waited too long. I thought we were really going to dump, of course, but no, I should remember the market's not picking a direction today. You can tell when the market's going to pick a direction like an hour in. I was an idiot, so I ended up waiting. It was up like 50 bucks. I got this huge great green candle, end up selling right there, and of course it ends up coming back down. But then, I mean, it would have gone all the way up here, and I would have lost everything. So I took a gain, and I got a $27 gainer on that, so I'm up like 105 on the day, I think. Not bad. I thought this was just way too easy. I mean, I knew Apple, and why is Apple going straight up? Like the Nasdaq couldn't even say green, yet Apple is just going straight up. I did not believe it for a second. So that was pretty easy. AMD next, right? Yeah, of course, AMD. And you can only guess what AMD did. So this wasn't AMD's fault. This is my fault. I'm an idiot. I should have respected it. I went in too heavy though. I didn't want to just like throw away all the gains on AMD and this market had no direction. I thought I saw this just, it was a perfect, like look at this perfect falling wedge. Just perfect. We break out. I mean, we get these weak ass candles, but then you look at the green volume. You can see where it breaks out, where the volume picks up here a little bit. We come up and then it immediately sells off. So I'm down like 20 bucks and I'm like, oh, this is just a fake out. Market has no direction. AMD's not going to cover. I mean, it's not going to recover. Sell on that, of course, green candle immediately afterwards, of course, and then it just goes up and up and up. And those, I mean, I should have made like 50 bucks off of those. So that sucks. I know AMD. I need to tell myself when I buy an AMD call or a put that AMD is going to play games. It always plays games. It's got so much liquidity. The market makers fuck around with this so much to fool idiots like me into thinking that the setup isn't going to play out. But it was just a perfect like falling wedge, and sure enough, once it broke out, it ripped up. Not a lot. It went from like 76.51 up to like 78. So pretty decent, like 2% move right there. I called it. I saw it. This was like an elementary grade school setup, and I went too big, man. I grabbed like two calls. I was like, I'm so confident I'm gonna grab two, and then I always stare at the P&L and I see it down like 30 bucks. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to throw away my green day. Don't do it. And so I just panic sold, and yeah, that sucks. You live and you learn. That is the way she goes. So after that, I'm looking around. So Neo had a short an article come out from a short seller claiming that they fib their sales numbers, that they're making that shit up, that they're not selling nearly as many cars as they say they are. And off this news, it gaps down hard, but apparently people still love Neo because as soon as it gaps up, it just rips. It comes all the way up here, and then it bounces right off of 22, 27 and sells off hard. So I already missed this move. These Chinese stocks just move so weird. I don't like them at all. I don't even know why I bothered. Because then some article comes out that China retail sales on cars is going up. So of course Neo pumps off of that. But I see here, this is just like perfect bear flag. I mean, just a perfect channel. It's just a nice little rising channel that I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm guaranteeing myself if it breaks out of this, it's gonna dump. So I see it's coming up. It's in this. Fuck up my drawing. Come on. We're in this channel. I grab a put right here. I like front load. I'm like so confident that's going to bounce off this line and dump out of here. And it does. But I only grab one put. It only goes up like 10 bucks. I grab a second one. So I'm up like 20 bucks right here. And then just for whatever reason, just out of nowhere, it just stops going down, fake out, and just go straight up. Just I'm like flabbergasted. Like this is such a perfect setup. But I respected my stop. I told myself, hey, I'll stop out up here. So I had a tight stop on this. I grabbed it right here, and I said my stop is right there. So this was a very tight stop. The only thing I didn't account for was that I was going to grab a second one because the puts just move like dog shit. I really should just short shares on this. I don't even know why I bothered. Should have just gone heavy, short shares, short like 100 shares on this. I mean, it would have been a nice little gain if I just did that. But oh no, I grabbed puts, and hey, I mean it was a good trade. I saw the setup. The setup was there. I had a tight stop. I respected the stop. The setup failed. That's the way she goes. Setups fail all the time. I'm more upset about the AMD one where the setup went through, but I failed the setup. I mean, it's one thing when the setup fails on you, but it's another thing when you fail on the setup. And I failed on the setup on AMD because it was there, and I just got scared out of the fucking calls because I'm a little bitch. But that's all right. We admit the faults. AMD does that. Sometimes AMD just makes it does the cleanest little action. But today, and then just the fact that today was so red in the back of my mind. As soon as I took the calls, I'm like, AMD's just been so red. Semis as a sector right now are just bleeding. Like the Nasdaq finished the day technically green, but you go around all the semis, AMD down 3.5%, Nvidia 3%. Just oh my gosh, so much blood in the semiconductor. Micron down 3, Qualcomm down 1%. I mean, all the semiconductors were down today. I don't know what's going on with semiconductors. It's not a good move. And the other thing is that the Nasdaq is still off. I mean, we're still 283 and the bottom here was 270, so Nasdaq is still quite a ways off the bottom, but all the semiconductors are at their bottom right now. They're all at the bottom price. Nvidia made a new low today. AMD made a new low at 75 or 76.51. Like this is just crazy, dude. And look at this. AMD, this is its pre-COVID highs over here at 58. It's only 20 bucks off of its pre-COVID highs. Just crazy. This is one of the best it's going to be one of the leading semiconductor companies for the next 50 years. Like it's just crazy the selling off. And the scary part is now I look at AMD, how close it is, but Nvidia is still very far away from its pre-COVID highs. Over here, it's $78, so that is scary. It could still go 50% down. I mean, I don't think it is. I think Nvidia is also one of the best. It makes in AMD. It's way more. I mean, just the AI, all the things they do, everything they touch is gold. They're just one of the best companies in general. But this market does not care. This market is you sell now and you ask questions later. Where in the last 2 years it was you buy the stock now because you know it's going to go up, and then you think about it later. That's exactly what is happening now, but the opposite. And you can see that with the volume over here in Nvidia. Jesus, but the selling volume is just so much greater. Just the panic selling. No one wants semiconductors. It's so crazy. Ugh, just brutal. So, anyways, the last Neo trade I ended up losing 18. Wait, is that 18? Yes, $18 on that. Um, no, it's because I bought two. $24 on that. So we did the day plus $89. No, 79. Yeah, $89. Um, basically all just off of this Amazon put. I could have sold the Nasdaq put it multiple times for like a $50 gain. It was down like 0.8% at one point today, but I am banking on there being a bigger move. I think we gap down. The PC news comes out tomorrow, before the market opens at 5:30. And I fully anticipate it's going to be bad and that the market is going to sell off. This is just what always happens whenever you consolidate. It typically goes down, except for over here, but over here there was no news of any sort. It was just gapping up just because it wanted to. When you see the daily RSI this high, it has a lot of room to go down. Any kind of news usually results in a sell-off, so I'm just gonna do. I'm trading with the trend. If the trend reverses on me, then I'll take the L and move on. But all I can really do now is try to trade with the trend. I'm not going to just be bullish for no reason whatsoever. And I mean, really, it looks like every big tech stock has just like created a huge bear flag. Uh, Nvidia broke out of it, but I mean the Nasdaq, just a big old fucking wedge right here. It just bounced around like a bam, 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 bam. Just terrible. I hated it today, and the whole time I'm just sitting here watching it, just like, oh my god, it was just like back and forth. They could not pick a direction today, and that's what I call max pain. Max pain is not like the Nasdaq going down 5%, because that's not max pain. That is great. If you know when to buy puts, you'll love that. Max pain is when people on both sides are losing today. Like people buying calls today lost, people buying puts today lost. No one wins in this market. It's just absolute dog shit. So with that being said, I'm happy with my little green day. I know it's on a crazy green day, but I'm confident in what we hold. I know I said that yesterday. I thought shit was going down yesterday, but I think if we sold off hard today, there would be less room to sell off tomorrow. So I think they're just going to do the consolidation dance and then sell off with the news tomorrow. I could be wrong. Who knows? The news could be great tomorrow. If that's the case, then the Nvidia I hold will go up a lot, and I'll take my loss otherwise. But I'm not hedging myself on these puts other than what I hold long, and what I hold long is Qualcomm, Nvidia, and Google. So my balls are in their court. Let's see what else. Microsoft, nice green day. I think Meta also had a green day. Yeah, so I mean, it was just the FANG companies. So it was so weird. Just the weirdest price action, dude. I don't know what it's doing. So bizarre. How bizarre. Shoulders that Facebook had back here. Bam. Um. So, anywho, uh, I'm gonna plan for tomorrow. Gonna check out some charts. Uh, Everything kind of just did the same thing today. There wasn't really any outliers. It was just a very, very strange day. Semis are just dying, but Apple had a green day somehow. I just don't even know. But anyways, I'll catch you guys later.